is harrakuhum bin nar, to blow up the people with your fire or your bombs. Of course, when Quran says 1500 years before, he won't use the word bomb. Bomb were not available in those days. He used the general term to blow up the people and to kill them by blowing up them. It is reported by Abdullah ibn Abbas that it means that to blow up the people with anything which fires and burns them. And Abd bin Humayd and Ibn al-Munzir reports from Qatada, the follower of companion, a great muhaddith. He said, Harraku, this is blowing up the people. Again, Hazrat Qatada says, and Imam Qurtubi and Abu Hafs al-Hanbali reports the same. And Imam Fakhruddin Razi reports in At-Tafsir al-Kabir. He says, Ala inna azab jahannam huwa al-azab al-hasil bisababi kufrihim. This azabul jahannam, the hellfire, this is because of their kufr, because they blow up the people. So they commit the act of kufr. وَعَذَابُ الْحَرِيقِ هُوَ الْعَذَابُ الزَّائِدُ عَلَى عَذَابِ الْكُفْرِ بِسَبَبِ أَنَّهُمْ أَحْرَقُوا الْمُؤْمِنِينَ. And they are doing here in the Western world, and they are doing the same in Pakistan. They are doing the same maybe in other Somalia and many other countries. Wherever they are blowing the humanity, or they are blowing the Muslims. So this act of ihraq, blowing them up. And this is the best word used in Quran for suicide bombings. He said, this is an act of kufr, and they will get double punishments as compared to other people. And again, Sahibul Jalalain, Imam Suyuti, he also says the same word, al-ihraq. Afatanu, it has been translated by al-ihraq. And then again, Imam Fakhruddin Razi, the great mufassir, classical, he says, kullu man fa'ala zalik. Somebody may say that this was for Ashabul Ukhdud, Imam, specific nation, but Imam Fakhruddin Razi says, kullu man fa'ala zalik. وَهَذَا أَوْلَى لِأَنَّ اللَّفْزَ آمٌ وَالْحُكْمُ آمٌ فَالتَّقْصِيصُ تَرْكٌ لِلظَّاهِرِ مِنْ غَيْرِ دَلِيلٍ. He says that this cannot be specified only to the old nations of the Ashab al-Ukhdud. The world is common, so its commandment and meanings would be common. Every person, even today, if he blows up the people, he would also become kafir with suicide bombings. So this was the second aspect, and now very significant aspect, very important aspect of this edict, I would say. The terrorists of today are Khawarij, they are Kharijites. Holy Prophet ﷺ mentioned in more than 100 traditions. They are Kharijites. I hope you have heard the name Kharijite, and maybe some of you, they haven't heard. Kharijite were the people, the first group of terrorists in the history of Islam who took up the arms. They were with the last Orthodox Caliph of Islam, Sayyidina Ali radiyallahu ta'ala anhu. When a situation arrived that he decided for dialogue, conversation, and a peaceful settlement of dispute through dialogue. This is very significant, which shows light on the mentality of terrorism. When he decided that we will decide the matter peacefully, we want peaceful settlement of the dispute, and we want by an arbitration, and we want through the dialogue. When they heard of dialogue, peaceful settlement of dispute, and arbitration, they came out of the army, and they were the first person who took arms against Sayyidina Ali, the fourth Islamic Orthodox Caliph. And they said, we don't accept dialogue. Now, I'm giving you a historical picture so that you may apply it on the present day terrorists. We don't accept peaceful settlement. We don't accept settlement through dialogue. We accept settlement through sword. So some people think that Islam has been emphasizing the sword. It would be absolutely wrong. My dear and respected audience and the journalists and the leaders of the community, I would say a wrong image has been presented about Islam in the Western world. The reason is that media is always interested in news. And peaceful people never create news. This is the first time I would congratulate you that a declaration of peace has created a news. Throughout the history, media is always looking for news, and a terrorist creates news which peaceful person cannot do. So that's why they were always being propagated and promoted. And the picture which Western world got about Islam and Islamic Ummah and community, that was because of the terrorist people and the people shouting here on the roads and saying, we will hit America and we will hit Britain and we will do this and that, the silly people. So these were the news which have been always promoted, and they are very few people, but they are armed. Single armed person is powerful than 100 unarmed persons. They are not even 1% of the ummah, but unfortunately they have the power of nuisance. Holy Prophet ﷺ, they are continuity of Kharijite. So they came first group of terrorists who became terrorists. They took up the arms and rejected the method of peaceful settlement of dispute with dialogue. They said, we believe in settlement with sword and gun. They became Khawarij. And it would be interesting to know that Holy Prophet of Islam sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he mentioned more than 100 times in ahadith about these terrorist people. And I have written a full-fledged book on this, and the Khawarij terrorists, a separate book other than this fatwa. And I have collected 100 ahadith in my book, separate book. It was done many years before. So what happened? Holy Prophet ﷺ mentioned. And second, maybe an understanding, a misunderstanding I want to remove today. Some people, the Muslims, may think that the Kharijites were only historically a specific group who retaliated against the fourth orthodox caliphs of Islam, Sayyidina Ali, and who fought against them and they were killed. Only that particular terrorist group of that time was Kharijite. And Kharijite, today's terrorists or the people doing the terroristic activities afterward, they are not Kharijites. This concept would be totally wrong against the traditions of Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. I have to establish this very significant point. My theme is, main theme of the fatwa is that the terrorists of today are the Kharijites. And these people, they are the same old evil. They have come up with a new name. But I would say, even people don't know this name is new or not. They have used the same name, and they have used benefit of the ignorance of the people of Arabic and Islamic roots. Two names have been used. For example, any word which is at-tahrir or these kind of word, you understand? At-tahrir, this kind of word. It comes out from al-harura. It is not lexically linked, but sound-wise, it is linked with al-harura. Tahrir has a different root. Al-harura is a different root, but the sound-wise, it has a link. The first terrorist group, they established their center for terrorism in a village known as Harura. And the word Tahrir has a very closer link with the word Harura. Harura and Tahrir. And Holy Prophet mentioned the word Haruriya in Hadith. Haruriya would be the first terrorist group which will come out against this ummah. First terrorist group. Second important word, Al-Qaeda. I won't say this is a new world in the old evil. I will say this is a tactically adopted the same world. I have quoted a full chapter on this subject. Imam Ibn Hajar Asqalani and Digar Aimma and authorities have noted various groups of Kharijites. Imam Asqalani in Fathul Bari and other Aimma, they say there was a group of Kharijites known as Al-Qadiyya. The same word, Al-Qadiyya. And Al-Qadiyya means the think tank of the terrorists. Al-Qadiyya, sitting behind, not actively participating in the terroristic acts, but providing them support, appreciating them, providing them mental, moral, religious support, and appreciating their activities, but not practically involving in the terroristic activity. Though who are the well-wishers and who are supporters, and provide them, back up them. They were known to be Al-Qadiyya. Our every book of Islamic history possesses this name. So what is the difference between Al-Qadiyya and Al-Qaeda? Just the letter Alif has been added. So this is a Kharijite movement.